Hey, what's happening, everybody? Hope you're having a great week. Wanted to share with you this podcast between Rick Joy, the CEO of EasyCam, and I, as we talk about the history of plumbing, what it was like 20 some years ago with plumbing, and then what's happening now in the future of plumbing. EasyCam LLC is a quick, repairable camera that you can do on the job site, and just email Rick's company, and then they'll send you out the repair for the cameras. Easy way of reducing downtime and keeping your business running so that you're not losing productivity and you're still making that hourly rate. So, hope you enjoy this podcast. A lot of good information in here that I think you'll enjoy. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Infrastructure Network. Today we have a guest. His name's Rick Joy, who is the founder with EasyCam LLC. Thanks for joining me, Rick.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, Rick, you and I have talked over the last several weeks in a number of different things in business. But one thing that I wanted to learn more about you and our audience wants to learn is how did you get into infrastructure and plumbing, especially because that's what you're into.
You can blame it on my father.
Okay.
My dad was a plumber. Um, I'm going to drop a name of a company, but I'm going to say he was the Roto-Rooter franchise owner.
Okay.
So as a kid, I remember sitting on the couch. I'm maybe 10 years old, and we're watching our little TV set. I think it was black and white.
Yeah.
And a TV commercial comes on. It says, Roto-Rooter, Wago troubles down the drain. And I looked at the TV and I looked at my father and I go, Dad, that's us. We're on TV. He goes, yeah, that's us. I go, I want a piece of this, right?
Yeah.
So I was just entranced by, I want to be like my dad. And I turned out to be a plumber, and I basically bought him out when it was time to retire.
Okay.
He's 96 years old. He's still living off the money we gave him years ago. He did well.
Okay.
Um, and I eventually sold that business, came to Florida in 1989, and went back into business. And I grew it over a period of time up to about 13 trucks. And we catered, getting back to your question, infrastructure, we catered to sewer repair, water line repair and replacement.
Okay.
Because it happened that all the plumbers in my area at the time, they weren't really equipped to do underground work. They all had a little cable machine, maybe a half-inch cable that was crooked or kinked or whatever, and that was their answer to cleaning drains. So me being from Jersey, having the equipment that I've had, I duplicated it and hit the ground running. And through that experience of running a plumbing business, I had a need for sewer cameras. And basically, one Monday morning, I walk into my office, um, 7:30 or whatever it is, and there are two broken cameras sitting there from over the weekend out of the 6 or 7 cameras that I owned. Put me in an instantly bad mood.
Oh, I bet.
Because here it is, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I know I'm 2 grand in the hole already. The week hasn't even started. So I said, okay, through that, I had the idea of just why wouldn't somebody build a sewer inspection camera from a plumber's point of view? Build it well, build it in America, build it to the best of your ability, but know that the darn thing's going to break eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the answer to that problem? And it's basically, it's like when you rebuild an electric water heater. You have elements in your thermostat, you rebuild it, and it's like new,
Yeah.
basically. Um, so why can't you do the same thing with sewer cameras? So with that, we started EasyCam, little fledgling idea that kind of caught on that, you know, field repairability.
Yeah.
Why not? And that's what we have, basically.
That's a pretty big deal. We're going to talk about that some more. But first, let's talk about your dad and your experience with working with your dad. Because being an entrepreneur like you are now, I imagine
Yeah.
he instilled a lot of the entrepreneur spirit into you. What was it like?
Well, I tell you, it was interesting because my dad had a little small operation. It was a couple guys and him, and he went to work every day, every single day, and he grew his little business. And and I remember he had this saying. He goes, "A man gets up and goes to work in the morning."
Mm,
That was his idea. You go to work, and even today, after running two service plumbing companies with 1 hour emergency service, 365 days a year, and there's all stuff happening,
yeah.
right? People say, well, really with EasyCam, you can call us 24/7 and we answer the phone. Let me tell you something. Running 13 plumbing trucks or get an occasional plumber who needs help on a Saturday afternoon is a cakewalk. It's not a big deal. So we kind of try to provide that service level of service when it comes to EasyCam.
Got it. So,
Um,
what have your, being a, trying to go back to your like learning more about the plumbing industry and what you've learned out of that industry as far as like inspecting pipes, what was it like without cameras? Because cameras, were you at the cutting edge at the beginning of cameras? Like,
no, no,
I was gonna say,
absolutely
how did
not.
you know?
My experience with my first camera was I was at the wet show back in 1990 something. I don't know, but it was in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
And we're walking around. My dad was with me, and it was the first time we were ever to like a big plumbing show like that, and that was very impressive. And of course, you go to a trade show, and the vendors hire these pretty ladies, and they come, how are you? Sign up here and this and that. And some lovely young lady comes up to me. She says, would you like to put your card in our fishbowl because you could own this camera? I won the camera.
Oh,
I
really?
actually won it.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I go, I can't believe this. So I get the camera, and my father was visiting us a couple weeks later. So we open up the box, right? We're like two little kids at Christmas.
Yeah.
We open up the box, and his years of cleaning pipe and my years of cleaning pipe and this, we've never seen the inside of a sewer line. How do you do that, right?
Yeah.
So we get this thing, and we put it down the pipe, and we're amazed. I go, oh my God, this is incredible. I saw instantly that I don't care what camera you have, doesn't matter. Whatever camera you have is probably the most profitable tool in your van
Yeah.
because picture's worth 1,000
Yeah.
words.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You can show everything.
And getting on that subject, what a lot of plumbers don't realize is most homeowners, they don't have any idea of a sewer camera even being available,
Right.
right? And what I used to do is I used to go to the customer when I suspected that there was something wrong with the pipe, and I would ask them, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" They go, "What do you mean?" "I got this camera, and let's see what's wrong with your pipe." And think about the first time you saw an X-ray of a broken arm or a finger, and you go, "Oh my God, that's amazing." The
Yeah.
customer has the same effect. It's the same effect on the customer.
Right.
And one or two things are going to happen. The pipe is going to look great, and which gives you a chance to show off how good you are
Yeah.
cleaning it,
Yeah.
in which you're building rapport to the customer, or something's wrong, and now there's a dig opportunity.
Right.
And if you're in the infrastructure business, a shovel is your best friend. That's all
It
there is to
is.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's where the money typically is repairs, right? I mean, that's repairing a lateral is a big deal. You know, they got to get their service established.
well, you know what the thing is you can live with a leaky faucet or a toilet that runs once in a while in the middle of the night. You know, you don't want to give up hot water. That's a given,
Right.
and you certainly don't want to give up your toilets.
Right.
And so there's no lack of business, and the
Right.
and the what I did as my plumbing business. Let's face it, plumbers don't have the best reputation. Some of us,
Hmm.
back older guys like us, and my take was when you showed up at a customer's house, you were clean,
Right.
right? Your van was clean. You were clean. You had a name badge with 17 years of service or whatever the
Yeah.
number was, and and if you want to be successful, I get this question a lot from a lot of my customers that are just starting out, or just
Hmm.
guys I talk to. They go, "What's the secret of being a success in the plumbing business?" I says, basically, it comes down to not ticking your customer off within the first 30 seconds of entering her home.
Hmm.
Impress her, make her feel like you're a professional. And the end result is if you do that, when you suggest that, excuse me, Mrs. Jones, if we just fixed your first commode and I noticed that your house is 15 years old, wouldn't it be a good idea for me to check the other bathrooms while I'm at your home? Which leads to additional work and the customer ultimately being happy. Because here's the thing, plumbers don't realize, if you hit and run, meaning you fix the first toilet and now you're looking at your watch and your phone's going and you're out of there, and let's say a day later, a toilet 50 feet away on the other side of the house, something gets wrong, backs up or whatever, the first thing that customer's going to do is say, "What did the plumber do? He was just here. Why wouldn't he have at least fixed that while he was here?" So
Right.
slowing up and offering people more service while you're there is ultimately the right way to do business. Now, don't sell anybody anything they don't need to be sold. Don't bait and switch. It is what
Right.
it is. There's plenty of legitimate work out there, but plumbers got to slow down.
Are you
That's
saying that the plumbers today are more just all about profits and rushing versus professionalism and giving a better perception?
um, there. I always thought long term,
Yeah.
treating the customer good.
Right.
You know,
It,
building upon that and hoping to get family and friends. We used to have a family and friends program. You purchase a customer protection plan with us.
right.
Well, we would cover your people within your family in our area, so we would get the whole family. And
Yeah.
so, but nowadays there's a lot of companies that I think overcharge and do a
Supply
lot
and demand.
more. Um, it's good, but it's a short-term plan,
Yeah.
because getting a customer once and never hearing about them or from them again, I don't know. I got to sleep at night. You know?
Look, I think you're bringing very valid points to the day today in 2023. What's
Yeah,
happening in infrastructure, especially when there's skilled labor shortages and there's plenty of work there, but not enough people to do the work. So now we have an abundance
yeah.
of work. So a contractor or plumber, I should say, would take advantage of that, not necessarily intentionally, but it's just the business it is now. It's like, I have so much work. I don't even have to market. I don't have to advertise. I'm just constantly getting calls and doing the work and just getting in and getting out as fast as possible because I got the next person waiting for me. It's kind of the way it seems these
Well,
days.
and that's true. And you know what? It's happening. A lot of these plumbers are hiking their prices, and there's a saying that 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your top clientele typically.
Yeah.
And they're weeding out of the people that don't want their services or looking for a handyman and I understand that. That's fine. But if you're going to charge somebody God knows how much dollars an hour, you got to provide them the service and the warranty and the whole
Right.
package.
Right.
You can't go in with your crack button, your hands are dirty and it's not going to work nowadays. Two people are too astute.
All they have
They're
to do is get on to one of these social media channels and just say, "Hey, I had this plumber come. Don't hire him. It was a bad
well, yeah, that's true.
experience."
That's
Yeah,
that's very true. And back in the day, you don't you have an
you
issue
didn't
with
have
a
that.
customer, he tells his brother-in-law and, cousin out west or something, but nowadays it's all over the place.
You're bringing up great points, Rick. I mean, we both are understanding that there's differences from where you grew up and your dad's perspective of running a plumbing business, more
Yeah,
professional, more referral based, right? That's the difference, right? We did services back in the day to create that referral so that I can get more work versus like we already have tons of work. I'm just trying to keep up with it and rushing through the jobs and missing a lot of different opportunities that are there, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're
right,
at.
and that's it. I'm telling you, you can go into typically during the day when an average plumber gets a service call, the customer's a female lady,
Yeah.
right? And and the thing is you have to make that woman feel safe and
Hmm.
secure and that you're a professional and that whole way of thinking because if she does that when times get bad she's still going to have her plumber.
Right.
It's like having a doctor. I used to have back in the day when after about 10 or 12 years my dad and I working together and him retiring and me keeping that business for another 10 years or 12 years before I moved to Florida.
Hmm.
A decade into it, I still had people asking, "Where's Joe?" My dad, "Where's Joe?" I go, "He's been retired. I want Joe." I go, "What? I'm sorry, Joe's in Florida. It's not going to work out." So
Right.
um, I don't know if you could build that rapport anymore,
Mm.
quite frankly, because e- everything is a phone call away or a click or a this or that. And my wife and I talked about this, and I decided I'm glad I'm old. I don't, I wouldn't want to be 25 years old again and have to build a business the way I did
Right.
because I think it's a lot harder nowadays. It takes a lot more investment, a lot more wherewithal.
Hmm.
Back in the day, you want to be a plumber, you maybe take a test and you go to Sears and you get a couple channel locks and
Yeah.
pipe threader and you're good to go. But nowadays, if you want to be in the plumbing business, you better consider lining.
Yeah.
The relining pipe and locating and the whole gamut. Because if you don't have those services and you're on Google spending God knows how much a click, and the customer calls up and says, "Excuse me, but do you reline pipe?" And you go, "No." Well, that just cost you $100. Have a good day.
That's
Yeah.
like $7,000 walking away.
Yes. So if you're going to be in the business, I think you got to do it right if you want to grow.
Yeah.
And you can only count on your friends and family so long needing a new P trap or
Yeah.
something. Trust me, you need to go beyond that.
Yeah.
And I remember um, being from New Jersey and moving into a sleepy little town, Naples, back in 1990. There was maybe 75,000 people here. and there was 4 or 5 plumbers in town, and there was no Google, there was no nothing other than Yellow Pages. So you open up the Yellow Pages and you go under P, and 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 there's a little ad, right? And
Yeah.
you call the guy, and he would say, "No, Johnny's Plumbing," and I would say, posing as a customer, "Excuse me, I have a leak in my house, somewhere. Can you come by and fix it?" And the answer would be, "No, I can't go today because I'm going fishing later on with my brother-in-law." And then I call the next guy, and there'd be another excuse, and another guy would say, "Well, I'm so busy, I can't get there till next week." And I was thinking, well, how do you hit the ground running when you don't know anybody? You're new to a county, and within 6 months, you want to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I did is I put an ad that their ads were this big, and my ad was that big, and I wrote down same day service or it's free.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, 24-hour service, boom, that, and we hit the ground running.
I
We hit
bet.
the ground running. And that's where I learned where, you need a good quality jetter. You need a US jet, you need a Harbin, you need a Mongoose, you need American jetter, you need something that's going to hold up because I had a jetter that was going on 20 years. I had that thing. I had it on a flatbed truck. I had to take it off the flatbed truck because the truck fell apart. The jetter was just fine. Put it on a new flatbed and it still made us
That jetter
money.
made you 10 times the profit.
Yeah,
Take pay for
you
yourself 10
know.
times. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just even location equipment. Ask back in the day, you asked what did you do before you had equipment like that? And I remember where back in the day, you have cast iron pipe. Typically, you're talking New Jersey, and the pipe's at least 6 feet deep or so,
Yeah.
and you have a clean out, and you put the cable in, and you go out 60 or 70 feet, and you maybe make a turn or you feel turn, and all of a sudden you hit a ball of roots or something, and you can't get through, and you're trying to figure, well, where it is. What you would do is let the machine turn.
Yeah.
You go out to the truck and get maybe a 4 foot length of 3-inch pipe, and you put it to the ground, and you're trying to hear like an idiot in the
That's
middle
how
of the
you do it.
ground how the cable is so close where now you're trying to figure out where you have to dig to fix it. Done
Ah,
that 1,000 times. Nowadays with cameras, it's like there it is, and beep beep beep, and it's 4 feet 7 inches. It's
that's
just
big difference.
I'm still amazed sometimes that um, the things that people improve upon, because that's what EasyCam is just I think I've improved upon cameras as most plumbers think about them.
Hmm.
But I love going to the wet show and things like that because there's a lot smarter guys than me that come up with these little gadgets, and I go, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I so appreciate, since I'm not plumbing anymore, where I'm doing easy cam, I find myself looking at the quality of packaging
Okay.
and how it's made and produced and things, and there's this little gadgets that people have. Um, I met this young man, and he developed a thing called a rattlesnake.
Okay.
It's a gadget that'll go into little pipe and create vibration and a noise. So when you hear it wherever it is, you can trace the pipe within the house.
Hmm.
It's rattlesnake, and I wish I had the guy's name. I tell you, but I
Yeah.
thought that son of a gun, that guy's pretty good. He was like 35 years old.
Nice.
I have socks older than him.
Well, that's
And the
it.
guy came up with a great idea that I never thought about. It was great.
Well, you came up with a great idea, and we only have 6 minutes left. So
Yeah.
we want to talk about EasyCam and the benefits to a plumber having a repairable camera like EasyCam. What what are the benefits of that? What's the return on investment?
Well, if people who are watching this, they own SOAR inspection cameras, I don't need to tell them about downtime and labor repair fees. It comes with owning a SOAR camera. So what EasyCam is a camera that's designed using modular plug-and-play components. If and when, in or out of our 2-year warranty, you have an issue with EasyCam, you simply give us a call. Again, we answer our phone. We walk through what what we feel that the problem is, whether it's a camera head or transmitter or this or that. We simply send the part that's needed to the plumber. He can watch a video on
Hmm.
how it's repaired, or he can FaceTime with us or whatever. With simple hand tools, normally 15 minutes, the repair is done.
Hmm.
So what did we just do? We eliminated maybe 30 days of downtime or more and $1,000 in repair costs because there's no labor
Yeah.
associated with fixing EasyCam because you're fixing it yourself,
Right. That's a
right?
big deal. What's the normal way of doing it now? You said they have to ship the camera out, and it takes like 30 days to get it back. It sounds like
Well,
what's the process?
yeah, I've been through this a couple, 3 dozen times prior to EasyCam. Here's what happens. A plumber walks in the room and says, "Hey, boss, the camera broke." As the owner, you're thinking, okay, uh, do we still have the box that was shipped in? Where's the box? Takes you a couple days to find the box. Couples days to put the darn thing in the box. A week later, it goes to an authorized repair center somewhere. Right. A week later, the repair guy says, "Hey, we found the issue. It's this. How much? It's a lot. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'll order the part in 3 weeks. I'll give you a call."
Oh
It
wow.
comes in. Maybe a week later, a guy calls you and goes, "Hey, good news. It's working great. It's on the way. It's going to cost you $175 to send it back to you, but good luck with it." It's a 6-week turnaround a
Hmm.
lot of times,
That's a lot of time.
and there are exceptions. There are companies that turn around a lot faster, but normally it's just a hassle of sending the darn thing out for repair.
Yeah.
And to make matters even better, what we've done is we have an repair kit that whatever model that you have, we have a small, medium, and large machine with all the bells and whistles. But we have a repair kit that has an extra, I have like a camera head,
Okay.
right? A transmitter, spring, whatever's needed to fix the front end of the camera is within your kit.
Okay.
So now, if there is downtime, it happens to be within a few minutes of you opening up the kit, getting the part you need, and fixing your camera.
Hmm.
And actually, new to us also is probably in the last 6 months, we have the capability of having a return kit, meaning if the cable is cut or sliced or broken,
Yeah.
you can re-terminate the end. The plumber can re-terminate the end of his own cable. It takes an hour.
Okay.
Reasonably easy to do. Again, we have a video that we can provide. But again, sending out a cable to get returned and the shipping back and forth versus spending an hour fixing it yourself. The whole EasyCam is just based on common sense. I'm I lay awake at night and say, "What's wrong with it? What can we fix?" And
The name speaks for itself, Rick. Easy
it
Cam.
really does.
It
It
does.
really does.
You did a great job naming it, and you've done some great marketing too. And just to kind of end the conversation, what I want to understand is if they call you, the plumbers, they want a part, how fast can you get a part to them? Is it overnight?
Typically, if the customer wants something overnight, we can overnight it. But
Okay.
normally, it's the shipping, the
Sure.
mail service
Yeah.
has these packages. If it fits, it ships.
Okay.
75% of the stuff that needs to be sent fits in one of those packages, and
Ah,
it's a 2 day shipping.
that's great.
So it
Even if
keeps
it's
the
a day
cost
or
down
two.
for the customer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's by the time somebody calls us, by the time the customer is up and running again, it's typically 5 days max by
5
shipping it
days.
all out or them calling us or even sooner than that. I have
Rick.
local people
Yeah.
that I probably have 40 local plumbers in my area.
Uh-huh.
They'll come in if there's an issue, we fix it while they wait. And our program is if we can't get you out of here within the hour, we'll give you a loaner for the day, which typically doesn't happen, but we do offer that.
Right. Wow.
And
That's
yeah,
That's
makes sense,
awesome,
right?
Rick. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It's revolutionizing the way cameras in the plumbing world are. You're bridging the gap from from downtime and repairs and keeping plumbers running throughout the country. It sounds like so. This is a huge advantage to plumbers to look at EasyCam and want to you know buy the camera to just to have it just for the repairs and limit the downtime for sure.
Well, again, any camera, if you take the time to use it properly,
Yeah.
use it to show your customer, amaze your customer. It, tell me, one out of 5 times you use that camera, you're going to find some type of repair, whether it's a piece of pipe that has to be fixed or a complete replacement.
Yeah.
Again, any camera is the most profitable tool a plumber can have. I
There's
honestly feel that.
there's no doubt about that, Rick. It's one of the things I always like when a plumber came to my house. I want to see what's going on because I'm going to trust you if I see what's going on and I'm spending the dollars because it's being transparent. It really is. That's I want to see it.
Well, there's no shenanigans.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And again, when people have a problem with their sewer system, typically that's not something they're going to put off until next year.
No.
It's normally done immediately.
Right.
And why wouldn't you want to be the plumber who did it
Yeah.
by using your camera correctly?
Yeah.
It
100%.
just, yeah.
Well, Rick, it's been a pleasure having you on the show and
Thank you.
talking about plumbing cameras and learning more about EasyCam. Thank you so much for joining us. But how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, we could be reached at EasyCam, that's EASY, EasyCamLLC.com, or you can reach me personally at 239-260-2056. And we have our new Facebook page, so maybe you can check us out. And I think we're doing some advertising, which seems to be working really well too.
Fantastic. It's been a pleasure, Rick, and thank you so much for joining me. And you have a great Labor Day weekend.
Thank you. You too. All right, take care.
You too.